What's up everybody? It is Kellen here from Start Your Systems and welcome back to MX vs ATV Legends, where today we're going to show you guys a little bit of the motocross gameplay. Obviously it's MX vs ATV, so there's MX bikes, ATV quads, and UTVs, or whatever they're, all-terrain vehicles or whatever you want to call it, in the game here. And we're going to show off the MX bikes here now and have the ATVs and UTVs will show off in a different video a little bit later, so you guys can watch the channel back and see some of that stuff. But the MX stuff, we're going to start off by basically showing off the Supercross tracks, or Supercross track here, I should say, and kind of showing you how the gameplay looks, how it feels a little bit, talk a little bit about it. And I will have a more in-depth video come out at a different time that explains more or less how the physics work in this game and how to attack everything smoothly, which again, I'm not going to do the greatest job in this video of displaying that, but trying to do my best and not making it look completely terrible. But I'll talk through the physics a little bit, play some Supercross here. This is the Seattle Supercross in the game, and then we'll jump over to Nationals, play a little bit of that, and then we'll do some freestyle stuff as well on Rawlings Farm, so you guys can see some of the tricks and stuff that are available in the game for you guys to try as well. So riding a 250F, and the 250F in this game I feel like has some decent power, but probably not enough power for what you'll be accustomed to or like, so I think a lot of people will ride the 450 in the game. But Supercross in this game, to me at least, is a little bit more satisfying than it was in All Out. Feels a little bit more, I guess maybe like MX vs ATV Alive, where it's a little bit heavier, so you have like a specific field that you know that you're more or less trying to attack with, and trying not to hit poles on the top of jumps and stuff like that. But let's start off by talking about the corner physics. The corner physics, it's pretty simple. Just use both sticks in the corners. You're going to use both sticks pretty much everywhere else anyway, so use both sticks to lean into the corner. Whether you're going right, you're going to lean both sticks to the right. Kind of control it a little bit more with the left. And whether you're going to the left, control it with both sticks again, going to the left, and then control it with your left stick on exit to just kind of make little minute changes. It's pretty simple. It's not too hard of a concept to get. I think once you've done, a couple hours on the game, you'll start picking up what feels comfortable for you. Because I actually do feel that this game is going to present a little bit of like different style for everybody. Something that, is not too common with motocross games. Like everybody just has like the same feel that they go for and stuff like that. But with this one, I do actually feel that you're going to have some different styles of gameplay and different ways to approach it. I personally always try to go for a little bit more realistic play, so you're going to see me probably go a little bit slower in corners than you're supposed to, but I just feel like I'm trying to keep it as realistic as possible when I play it, just so I'm having fun with that. But yeah, that's corners using both sticks. For jumping, talk a little bit about scrubbing to start with. Again, both sticks. You're using left and right. Definitely the right controls the rider quite a bit more than the left does. So as you see me like scrubbing off of jumps right there, you're going to lean both sticks to the right and kind of feather them back both to the left to kind of correct yourselves, or vice versa, leaning both sticks to the left and then feathering back to the right. But you can see right there how much usage I was just using with the right stick specifically, which is the rider movement. That's right to left right there with the rider movement. Pulling it back to kind of like, throw it out, but then pulling it back with that right stick pretty much exclusively to carry some momentum through the jumps and stuff like that. So you have kind of the main scrub, which is scrubbing with both sticks, leaning both to the left or both to the right. But there's also a little like flick scrub that they included, and that is actually leaning both sticks in the opposite direction. So that was right there, leaning both sticks in the opposite direction. I'll try to do it on the finish line jump as well, coming up here in a minute, so you guys can see kind of what that does. But that won't pitch you as low to the ground as doing the full-fledged double stick scrub would do, but it does allow you to kind of carry a little bit more forward momentum, maybe stay a little bit less low so you're not supremely scrubbing a jump, but also give you that same kind of forward momentum and spike of speed, I guess, that you're trying to carry over a jump instead of just constantly having to deal with straight airing every jump. So that's kind of scrubbing. Whipping, I'm going to kind of save for the MX portion of this video because there's not really big enough jumps on the Supercross track to throw whips, in my opinion. But yeah, that's kind of how at least the scrubbing physics work. Now, actually jumping, actually doing seat bounces or controlling the bike in the air, we'll start off by talking about seat bounces, which are basically preloading the suspension. If you've ever played the old MX vs ATV games, it was called preload back then. Now it's basically seat bouncing because that's what everybody in Pro Motocross and Supercross calls it. But yeah, you do a lot of it with just the right stick, kind of leaning back off the face of a jump and either letting go or pushing forward with the right stick as well to get that little pop. But you can also do it with both sticks as well, and that right there is using both sticks to your advantage, leaning back on the face of a jump and then kind of popping off of a jump with both sticks. I mean, look at how much air you get off of just little bumps like that by using both sticks to your advantage. And again, that is just leaning back and then pushing forward on the stick. So a little bit of down-up motion to kind of feel a little bit more airtime, I guess, by seat bouncing. Now, once you are airborne, you're going to control a lot of the rider movement with that left to right on the right stick. So if you can think of whichever controller you're handing, it's the right joystick. A lot of that is done with rider movement on the right joystick. So if you're trying to correct something by either uprighting the rider in midair or something like that, you're going to control it a lot with that right joystick. The left joystick is more or less trying to turn the bike, as you can see right there, and then the right joystick is turning the rider. So again, if you can think of it as two different entities, the left stick is the bike, the right stick is the rider, and you're trying to use both in concurrent with each other to optimize the rider direction and everything along those lines. Now, a couple weird quirks with the physics that I'll talk about. First of which, the clutch. You're going to use the clutch a lot to try to boost out of corners and stuff like that. I feel like I use it in almost every corner to try to get a little bit more oomph, but it's still not as maybe OP as it sounds. You definitely have to use it at the right times, and if you don't spool it up at the right time and then drop it coming out of a corner at the right time or something like that, you're basically going to go nowhere coming out of the corners. So definitely some things like that I'm still trying to learn and figure out and get a little bit more used to. So yeah, you're just trying to keep up that momentum through the corners. That's kind of going to be your best approach to hitting everything and going through corners smoothly, and so on and so forth. I think that's pretty simple to understand if you're trying to play the game and using both sticks to your advantage, like I said. Some things that I don't like. Yeah, that was what I was going to talk about. Some things that I don't like. There is basically what I would call a double jump physic in the game. You can either push down on the bike or push up on the bike to get more air. So push up on the bike and you kind of like double jump to get more air. Or if you're going a little bit too long, like if I'm going long here, you can push down and it pulls the bike back to the ground. That's one of those things that I don't necessarily love. I understand why they did it. A little bit more rider control, a little bit more feeling over jumps and trying to correct little mistakes, like either if you're going too long or too short, you can pull up and you get a little bit more airtime, or you can push down and you'll get a little lower to the ground. I still think that's a little bit weird how they chose to do that in this game, but I digress. I understand where I think they're trying to go with that, and we'll see if maybe they improve upon it as the game continues to develop a little bit, and maybe they come out with some patches to fix it and stuff like that. But for now, not super fond of it, but it is what it is. So that is basically some Supercross gameplay. Let's jump over to the MX track. All right, so now we've jumped over to the MX track, which is definitely more my vibe. I've always kind of been terrible at Supercross in any motocross game, and much more comfortable on outdoor tracks as I quickly throw it away over the finish line jump. But we'll talk about a couple more key details to the game that you're going to want to try to figure out. And right there going to the first corner showed off a lot of one thing that I think a lot of people are going to struggle with getting right, and that is sliding in this game. You're going to slide a lot through a lot of these corners. The tracks are pretty bumpy to begin with, but on top of that, the traction kind of only goes to a certain point. Like if you push it beyond its limits, the traction will immediately give way and you'll start sliding through the corner. Now, my fix for that is kind of to blip the throttle through the corners as much as you can and like use the clutch every now and again, but definitely kind of just, brop through the corner if you're starting to slide a little bit. That was a little bit weird. But if you're starting to slide a little bit through a corner, blip that throttle, just kind of let it more or less set itself again, find that traction, and you can usually keep up a pretty high, speed or momentum through the corners. Again, I'm going to try to come out with more like in-depth explanation of all this stuff, but so far what I'm feeling with the sliding is just blip that throttle. Definitely helps a lot with, correcting the bike and carrying the momentum through the corners still. But yeah, I'm still learning it, like I said, so we're just trying to figure it out a little bit. Love these national tracks, though. National tracks are probably my favorite thing in the game so far. They are huge, a lot of fun to ride, and pretty realistic, I would say, to a degree. Again, I'm not showing it off the best of my abilities here, but for the most part, it's pretty nice to see like how more national track oriented they went with this. In the past, I feel like they've like tried to throw out some supremely unrealistic stuff, which I never thought really worked that well. And on top of that, what I liked about these national tracks is that they've included a lot more like actual straightaways and stuff like that. So like coming down this long downhill into some braking bumps, a little bit of like a left-right chicane right here. In the past, I feel like they would just be like turn everywhere, left turn, right turn, like as much turns as you can possibly squeeze into this little space. This time they're like, no, we have a lot of map to work with, so let's kind of spread stuff out, make it a little bit more uniform and flowing and stuff like that. And I really like the approach that they've had with it this year, because I feel like the national tracks have just in general, a lot more flow on them. So definitely like what I've been feeling so far on these. Ooh, like that right there. That was a nice little floater step up into the corner. But again, even here on the national track, you're starting to see how much like the double jump and like the pushing down, like how much that helps. Another thing that I haven't hit on yet is that the engine does actually have some real kind of gyro to it in this game. There is some brake tapping that's involved. So if you tap the brakes, the front end will start nosing down quite hard. And if you jam on the throttle, if you just hold wide open in the air, it'll eventually kind of start backflipping because the front end will continue to rise. So that's another thing that you have to be pretty, smart about when you use the throttle or use the brakes in the air to control the bike. But you can also, of course, use the rider a little bit to more or less control which direction you're going to go. And, more or less right the ship if you're flowing off in the wrong direction. But I do like to feel these national tracks. I feel like they are going to be one of those things that I'll play a lot more of, more so than Supercross, at least so far. The Supercross, to me, it's satisfying in a regard because if you get sections right, it feels really nice to have that flow, but it's also really hard to keep that flow because, just the way that the physics work and everything like that, it doesn't feel as smooth and uniform as maybe you would hope it be. The Nationals, to me, though, definitely have that feeling and very much like how the national tracks feel. So I'm going to finish up another lap on this track right here, and then we're going to do some free ride. I'll show you guys a little bit of the freestyle tricks in this game so you guys can get a sense of that and what the rider animations and movements and everything look like, and then we'll send you guys on your way. But just continuing to rip around. I think this track is called Archer, and yeah, like I said, it is a lot of fun. Has some really good flow, again, if you can find it. But to me, it's about hitting everything smoothly and not trying to send jumps like I just did right there. I don't know where I thought I was going, but to each their own. Turn and fly down this hill. Try to, at least. I don't know why I'm playing so terrible. I definitely have been playing a lot better than this when I've just been playing by myself and not recording, so maybe it's trying to focus on talking that once again has made me start to play absolutely terrible. A little bit too much bouncing, I feel like, in this game as well. You can see how much it's bouncing over the braking bumps, and it just feels like you're never going anywhere because of that. Like, you just don't have any traction being put into the ground, and it takes a little bit of time to get that momentum going again. If you can, though, one thing that I'll definitely suggest in this game, utilize the scrubbing as much as you can. And I'm not doing a very good job of it because I'm just trying to get over these jumps. But where you can, scrub, and it'll really help carry your momentum. Like right here, if we come off of this jump, scrub it. I mean, look at how low to the ground we stayed, how much speed we carried into this corner, trying to hook these ruts as smooth as possible. You can see that sliding into the corner again. And yeah, getting a couple laps in here on the national track. So let's go check out some of the freestyle stuff. All right, so now we are doing some free riding on the Rawlings Farm map, which is basically like the main lobby, main track, whatever you want to call it. We'll get to the story mode and describe some of the stuff on Rawlings Farm shortly, but I'm pretty much just going to go to more or less the like freestyle / free ride area that they have right here and hit some of these ramps and show off some of the freestyle tricks, because I've had a lot of people say, like, what are the freestyle tricks? Well, we've got like a bar hop, pretty standard stuff right there. I can turn around and hit this jump again, see if we can... Another bar hop. But you do all these freestyle tricks by hitting right bumper or R1 on your controller, depending on what type of console you are on, and using both sticks to go in certain directions or do this or that. So like that is a double can. I don't know why I just missed the jump right there. I wish there was a little bit like back and forth so I could show you guys, but I don't think that there's a ramp on this side. So I have to like go around the back side of it every single time to hit the ramps over here. There's that ramp right there, and then there's this set of ramps right here, but we're going to hit it pretty bad. We'll backflip a little bit, show what that looks like. Little seat grab, backflip as well. Turn around and hit this guy. Got a no-footer. Go over here and flip around and do some more stuff. Really should have chosen to ride a 450. So I'm pretty sure the sequencing is using both sticks to kind of create something. So like we'll go left up here, and that didn't do anything. So I'm not sure if that's actually supposed to do anything or not. Let me see. Is there a trick list? Maybe there's a trick list. Settings. No. It doesn't look like there's a trick list, unfortunately. Oh, there we go. Got a seat stand. So that was, to me, just right bumper and down. just happened right there. My rider is stuck doing something here. Not really sure what it's doing at this point. What did I do? What just happened right here? My rider's like stuck, just sitting on the bars. All right, so now if I fall off, yeah, there we go. Now I fixed it. That was weird. Rider's like sitting with his legs like wide open, just riding, kind of like goon riding, I guess, a little bit right there. There we go. There's a rock solid. Classic little freestyle trick right there. Just hit this so we can show off some more of the tricks. The dead body. Again, I'm not really sure what I'm hitting to do these. I'm just kind of pressing random buttons because the bar hop seems to be just right bumper and up. I'm pretty sure a knack-knack is just right bumper and left. No, that's a taunt. So right bumper and right might be a knack-knack. Show it off here. Oh, that's a no-footer. Can I land no-footed? Yep. There's the seat stand again, which seems to be right bumper and down. There we go. There's a little like 9 o'clock. That's a ninja knack is what that was called. So it seems to me, hit the right bumper, kind of go in any general direction or different direction, and that'll most likely kick something out for you. So there's a Cordova. But just give you a general sense of what the freestyle tricks look like, what the animations look like. And I'll continue to fiddle with it and kind of play with it and try to make it look a little bit better as well. Double backflip, heart attack, not quite. But that's what the backflips, that's what the freestyle tricks look like. If you have any more questions about a trick that is in game or something like that, if I can help you with it, I'll try. But I'm not a freestyle guy myself, so this is one of those areas that I just don't have any expertise on or really even know how to do that well. So I'm just kind of hitting jumps and throwing tricks and trying to have a good time. But yeah, hopefully this video was simple enough for you guys to understand and it looks cool, or maybe you enjoyed it. As always, be sure to get involved in the comment section below, and if you have any more questions, feel free to ask them. But that's it for today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one as always. Appreciate you guys stopping by and watching another video here on the channel. I'll send you guys on your way, and I'll see you guys in the next one. So long for now.